What's up, everybody? Welcome to My Cowboys Family. On a bonus stream, we did not want to do this one here for our Dallas Cowboys. How about our Dallas Cowboys tonight? As you can see, as most of you might know already, but if you don't, we'll update you on the news, info, and updates on this specific breaking news situation. Our star top cornerback, just freshly paid, TREVON DIGGS, today in practice, had a leg injury, a knee injury, ACL tear, if I'm not mistaken. And now he's officially, unfortunately, out for the year. We'll discuss the fallout from this here and the why did this happen, how did this happen, whose fault is it? Is it anyone's fault? And we'll cry, we'll get mad, I'm sure.
And of course, talk about what's next.
Yeah, we got to move on. So, baby, I'm gonna let you handle this here as I get everything ready behind the scenes because we just kind of came home. You know, we knew this already. We knew exactly when the moment it happened. Trust me, but we want to make sure we had a quick earlier discussion. We'll discuss it again tonight on our regular nightly live stream. So we'll go live again, but that's gonna be a shorter stream. This is gonna be not a 2-hour stream. So buckle up, guys. Make sure you drop your knowledge in the chat. Drop the love if you want your comment to be read and discussed here on MCF. But we're gonna get to the news, info, and updates on TREVON DIGGS' unfortunate situation. But baby, first here on the channel, My Cowboys Family, we gotta still do this on the nightly. You know how we do through good, bad, or ugly. This is ugly today. We gotta shout out those that make this channel keep going.
Thank you very much to the sponsor of the week, Mark Hovsepian. Appreciate you, of course. You see Jason Renfro up above, bossing that stream around with 61 points. Some O-line representation, which is a whole other wham bam, right? You have SnugX as the Cash App King, 6 weeks in a row. Huge shout out to you.
You know why he's here.
Yes, you do. Although I believe leading it this week is Roger That Asher.
That's right. That Asher in the house. Roger, much love to him. You do the membership gift?
No, I didn't get to it yet. I wanted to shout out that there. But yes, thank you very much to Ron the Don Smith, who is the current membership gifting king as well.
Skeptical fan in first place currently now with a couple people behind him gifting memberships. Appreciate you. And baby, in the overall board, John Montgomery, just a hair in front of Mark Hovsepian. We'll see how that battle turns out here as we get into the past the middle of the week and into the real nitty gritty of this upcoming game for the Cardinals against the Cardinals for our Cowboys. But we'll do the shout outs to the star level later tonight. Of course, you know the other ways of helping out the channel, guys.
Cash App, the Venmo, the PayPal, the Streamlabs. Yeah. Again, appreciate everybody, all the love and support.
Yeah. Quick shout out from the chat, if you don't mind, baby, as far as just rolling through this thing, because we got to get to this information. But give a quick shout out to those in the house. Don't have to read comments because we know what everyone's talking about.
We got Cab 52, Aztec Aguilar 04, Karam Mawani, much love, Sheila Neal, hello, Raul Castro in the house, Black and Blue TV, Thomas Garrett, the Superior Garrett, Mary Alvarez, much love, Bama Fan, William Burney, Tokyo, Lord Nova, Cowboy Fan 91, El Cool in the house, Q Ball, of course, Jason Renfro. Let me come back down. Top Cowboys, what's up? Hello,
Tom
hi.
In the house. Jason, I know he got 61 points in Stream Boss. I think you mentioned that already. Yeah, I just want to re-mention it for him.
So, and yes, guys. So, obviously, whether you're on the West Coast, maybe waking up in the middle of your workday or something, coming home, depending on your
time zone, right? It's worldwide with Dallas, right?
Or coming over here on the East Coast, heading home from work and hearing this unfortunate news. Yes, guys. Unfortunately, TREVON DIGGS did suffer an ACL injury today.
Yep, and we're gonna break it down here, kicking it off. We did, and we'll get a couple comments here throughout this quick stream. So, yes, it's confirmed, guys, officially confirmed. The Cowboys literally announced that shortly after we already knew it happened. But cornerback TREVON DIGGS diagnosed with a torn ACL. We've lost TREVON DIGGS for the entire season, and I'm going to put up this picture of TREVON here. Of course, this is during previous games. I don't know what it was, but of course, no one has really video. He was on crutches when he left practice. We'll talk about that. Again, people saw him on crutches as they were going in the locker room interviewing people. So, this is a major, major situation, a top cornerback in the NFL. And our top cornerback, I know we got Stephon Gilmore, but this is our future. Unfortunate, very unfortunate situation with this defense has been just dominating out there on that field game, the first 2 games of the season. So, out of his 3 years, 2-time Pro Bowl cornerback, suffered this ACL tear during one-on-one battles out there, guys. It's a regular practice. I mean, I know some people are mad at McCarthy. No. Sorry, Scorpio. It's not McCarthy's fault. This is just fucking football. This happens. And so and by the way, Mary Alvarez, I know she's at work listening to this. Just make sure you have your headphones on because there'll be some cursing in this one. So, one-on-one one-on-one matchup. We've seen this stuff all training camp. It's a fucking freak thing that happens. It was on a grass field. Let's not sit here and find blame. It's called football. It happens. It's crap. It sucks. But it extra hurts. There's no way of it. I am so fucking down after hearing this. It's hard for me. Again, and I know we can battle back. I'm going to talk about some good stuff here from, I guess you could say the best stuff, the silver linings out of this shit. But this ruined my day.
Good is in our depth and preparation, but it's never good to lose one of your top defensive players to a season-ending injury.
And one of the top players at that position in the NFL. It's a mind-blowingly depressing piece of news. I'm not here to freaking trying to make everyone feel worse, but I'm down. You're getting the raw reaction here. If we get this later tonight, we'll be a little more level-headed about shit. But we're fans here, goddammit. This defense was ready to set some records. I think that's in jeopardy now. I think that whole, the best defense and all this, that shit's got to shut the fuck down. We just got to shut it down. Now, does that mean we're not a good defense? Oh, come on, guys. We're still a top defense in the NFL, and I'll explain why. This kills the whole, lockdown cornerback situation. Lockdown. We got DeRon Bland. We got Jordan. We got depth, thank goodness. But that lockdown feeling of those cornerbacks, if we don't get consistent pressure like we have been, if that continues, you won't even see a difference. But if that does not continue, you're going to see guys getting burned out there, unfortunately. And it's going to cost us some more points. And maybe it costs us the games. Maybe it costs us the fucking Super Bowl. I don't know. I'm not going to jump the gun there. I do think our defense, I guess one of the few good things we got, 16 weeks to go, and whoever jumps in those places, hopefully, number one, they still knock on wood, they still healthy, but also, they have a camaraderie. They kind of they know, they get a feeling of where everyone's supposed to be. These are guys that have done this before, so we should be okay if the pass rush is still going. I don't think we'll really skip much of a beat, but it's hard to replace a ball hawk like TREVON DIGGS, a guy who obviously is a major problem for any receiver in the NFL to be gone. It's not the same thing. DeRon Bland's very good, but he ain't TREVON DIGGS. So let's go through the information. I'm trying to not get my feelings in this. Again, this was a one-on-one practice, a one-on-one period in practice where the receiver's going up against the cornerback. And again, we're not sure if it was non-contact or contact. We don't know if it was they got tangled up and fell or just a leg buckled, like you see with ACL tears. But we do know, guys, this happened today's practice after the period that was open for reporters. It didn't happen during that time. So when the reporters left, they continued their practice, they did their thing, and then that's when TREVON DIGGS got hurt. Now, MRI done, confirmed everything that he's out for the year with this torn MCL. I'm sorry, torn ACL, not MCL, torn ACL. A brutal blow to the best defense in the NFL, our Cowboy defense, at least in our first two games. Now, the injury occurred after this practice window for the media. The Cowboys were also outdoors. We're outside, guys, working on the outdoor natural grass field at the Ford Center at the Star. We're not in the Ford Center, in that indoor stadium, Ford Field, which people could have been. Oh, it's the turf, not the natural grass field. We were on a natural grass field, still injured. Since he was drafted, of course, TREVON DIGGS in the 2020 draft in the second round, he has 18 career interceptions, tied the single-season Cowboy franchise record with 11 picks in 2021. Of course, after last year, good year, not as good as, let's say, 21, but a really good year last year. Cowboys signed him to a 5-year, $97 million contract extension in July. He responded by playing probably the best football, most physical football of his career. Maybe too physical in practice by TREVON DIGGS. These players, they want to show out, and even in practice, maybe did he push himself too much? Either way, it doesn't matter at this point. It's over for him and this season. Now, he'll be back. Hopefully, no real ill effects. Hopefully, in the future, that's the hope. It happened early in this, in the season, so he will be definitely good for 2024. But just saying those words make me want to vomit. J-Ron Curse. He's actually said a couple of things today, J-Ron Curse, about the current situation with TREVON DIGGS. He had a little kind of comment. He said, quote, "The best cornerback in the league to start this year. We're going to go step it up for Trey. Don't think this shit going to stop at all. Prayers for my little brother, Trey Day." So, again, that's what we heard from J-Ron Curse. I think Zach Martin actually said something here after. Dak Prescott said, prayers, and, we didn't know what it was yet at that time. That was right after. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, but Dak
Martin said that. But Zach Martin, Dak to Zach.
Yeah, Zach Martin spoke once we knew a little bit more in regards to the injury. He's saying it's just terrible. I feel old for Diggsy. You never want to see anyone get hurt, especially one of your teammates during a weekday practice, but he'll get back to it, get back to rehabbing, and come back stronger.
Yeah, he feels for old, not old, but he feels for old Diggsy. As to, I guess, they all got their nicknames, Trey, Diggsy. Yeah, everyone's feeling for Trevon Diggs right now. So the lowest passer rating allowed by cornerbacks this year, Trevon Diggs 1.0 quarterback rating. I'm just saying, that's like almost unbelievable. You know who's number 2 in the NFL, baby?
Who?
DaRon Bland. Yeah, but that's at the slot nickel corner, not the outside. DaRon Bland, 16.7. Number 1 in the slot, by the way, in the NFL. Number 2 of all cornerbacks as far as passer rating allowed against him. So DaRon Bland stepping up. He's going to have to step up in a big way to even come close to those numbers, even with 16.7 QBR in 2 games. I mean, Trevon Diggs allowed 1 QBR. Allowed that, though, and this is why I'm not... Look, we could have lost a couple other players who would have been a lot worse than this, even a lot worse than this. And he's even a guy who might be in trouble of losing that could be even more major injury than Trevon Diggs. But, of course, it's the big name here. And Trevon Diggs is a big loss. When you look at the next-gen stats, over the last 3 seasons, Trevon Diggs had held opposing quarterbacks to the lowest passer rating by any defensive back, corner or safety in the NFL, basically in his career, right? 63.0 QBR when attacking him. Only Rasul Douglas at 66.7, Kevin Byard at 67.9, and Patrick Surtain at the 68.6 mark. Those are the only guys that came close to Trevon Diggs over the last 3 seasons. Not this year. This year is number 1. The last 3 years. Even Joshua Dobbs, quarterback for the Cardinals, for this upcoming Sunday, was said yesterday, quote, "I know that the Cowboys just added Stephon Gilmore to their defense, but you obviously have Trevon Diggs, who's elusive in the secondary. You have to always know where he is." Not anymore, unfortunately, not this year. And Dobbs, they're practicing now to attack DaRon Bland and Jordan Lewis, because Bland's going to be on the, let's say, the left side or the right side of the defense. The left side is going to be Stephon Gilmore, and then you got, I guess Trevon Diggs on the right side, and Gilmore's on the left side. But not anymore. Of course, Gilmore, is still on his side, but DaRon Bland goes on the outside now, and Jordan Lewis jumps in the middle. That's the initial kind of thought that I had. Jane Slater kind of gave us the update. The plan in the Trevon Diggs injury situation, the season-ending ACL tear, is to move. This is the Cowboys saying this. Moving DaRon Bland from the slot nickel cornerback in the inside to the outside cornerback spot, which is what I guess they would do. And of course, we have Jordan Lewis back. I think he had 10 snaps last game. I'll talk about that a little bit more as well. But Jordan Lewis got to get up and going now. I mean, we know he had the Liz Frank fracture, but now he's got to really play that starting spot for DaRon Bland, because Bland's moving to the outside. And according to the Cowboys, not me, this is the Cowboys. Bland going to replace Trevon Diggs. And then you're going with Jordan Lewis to replace the open hole there by DaRon Bland at slot. Who's the backups now? According to the Cowboys, the next guy up, as far as an outside cornerback, Noah Igbinoghene. All right, the guy we just got from the Dolphins, first round talent. But we'll see how he does under Dan Quinn. He's the next guy up. If anyone else goes down, gets a little injury, guys to take a breather, Noah Iggy is going in the game. And number 19. He wasn't ready for the Dolphins. I don't know if he's going to be ready with the Cowboys. It could be the defensive pass rush. Maybe he'll show better. A lot of ifs right now. The one good thing is that this is a very deep part of our team. The cornerback spot, believe it or not, with Stephon Gilmore and Diggs and Bland and Jordan Lewis. Those 4 are running the show. After that, you got Iggy. You got, which we don't know anything about. You got Nashawn Wright, which we know. He's got issues there. And again, guys like, Eric Scott Jr., a rookie. You can't trust anyone really back there. I think you got thrown there in the slot as a backup. Someone like Israel Mukuamu, Iggy. I mean, you got to talk about Iggy, what about Izzy? So he can play that slot in the backup spot, because now we don't have that slot backup. Yeah, you can move DaRon Bland back, but then who's on the outside? There's a lot of mix and match and puzzle pieces here, but it's a big loss, Trevon Diggs. So when you look at these guys, DaRon Bland on the outside, Jordan Lewis goes inside. Noah is now a depth for the outside cornerback, and I believe Israel Mukuamu is going to be the depth for the slot nickelback corner spot. For now, DaRon Bland proved to all of us, in my opinion, he proved to us, I think to you guys, DaRon Bland can play on the slot and the outside as well. He got moved out there, and they moved Israel Mukwamu to the slot, and we actually got a little more back on track. That Niner game, that Tampa Bay game, they couldn't do much against our secondary. So that's one of the good things I guess you could look at. And now we just also have Jordan Lewis in the mix. So in a way, it's kind of a little bit of an upgrade from last year when we lost all our cornerbacks. And I'm talking about Anthony Brown, as one of those guys we lost, and Jordan Lewis were the two guys we lost last year. So this year we lost TREVON DIGGS, obviously a lot bigger. But again, we got a little bit better depth, I think, this year than we had last year. And again, DaRon Bland proved that he can hold it down. Here's the key, guys. You got to remember, this is what I think is maybe one of the biggest keys to this whole situation. The Cowboys have a fantastic pass rush. And as I said, and I thought this would be the year TREVON has the best year he ever is going to have. Well, I said that last night, literally. That's done. I mean, he had a great year for 2 games, but that's all he's going to have. And we're not going to see his best out there, unfortunately. So now, because of that same pass rush, and I said the pass rush, having Gilmore on the other side is why TREVON's going to have a great season. And the pass rush is what makes everyone look better. Stephon Gilmore was with the Colts last year. He looked good, but he looks great with the Cowboys, a lot better because of the pass rush. Same thing with DaRon Bland. Same thing with Jordan Lewis, of course. Same thing with TREVON DIGGS. So the pass rush is the key. That's the first help for any. I could go back there and the pass rush will hold it down for me to cover just the 2 seconds I need to the plays, molested by our defensive line. And that's the where we hope that will continue going throughout the season. I just feel we have to be a little more consistent at the pass rush. We have to get we have to keep that consistency going, or else that could be a problem, as far as consistency in the secondary if we don't get that pass rush pressure. A little bit more needed now than when you had TREVON DIGGS. He could hold it down for an extra second or 2 with Gilmore and Bland. Now we got to make sure we get back there because we have dropped a little bit in our effectiveness and overall strength at cornerback. Much love to Spock. Can you save me? First drop of the day here and breaking unfortunate news.
I appreciate you, of course, with that, too.
What did he say?
Dollar Holly said, according to Marco Weirdo, this is Dak's fault. So, well, I mean, we asked
How is that?
I think he's trying to make a joke.
Oh.
I think even we have to admit that it's going to be a very, very, very long shot to blame this injury on Dak, but I can definitely see some of the resulting circumstances as far as where our team ends up. Obviously, there's a lot more pressure on Dak. So every single mistake or something that Dak makes is now going to cost us a little more because the entire team needs to step it up. But, I mean, I can't see an argument being made any other way. So
I can't... Listen, guys. I cannot confirm what Spock is saying about who said what, but I'm telling you this. If anybody's saying that they're idiotic, I'm saying that. I'm going to say it now, and if anybody has anything to say about it, come with it. But when it comes to TREVON DIGGS, it has nothing to do with fucking Dak Prescott. It has nothing to do with the offense. It has nothing to do with McCarthy. It has nothing to do with the fucking turf. It has nothing to do with, with the receiver. It has nothing to do with football. Bad fucking luck. It happens all the time. You just don't hear from the big name guys except once in a blue moon. And this is the blue moon right now, unfortunately. And I'm talking about for our team. I've seen a lot of other guys losing 4 plays for Aaron Rodgers he's done for the year. This shit's been happening, guys. So, again, it just blows big chunks because it's TREVON DIGGS, a big name, our number 1 cornerback. If you want to blame anyone on this, I hate to say it this way because no one gets to blame, but the guy you got to blame the most is TREVON DIGGS. And the reason, you might be shocked, maybe, but it's because maybe he's giving too much of the fucking practices.
Oh, wow. I guess we're going to have a very different
We will, because to me, TREVON DIGGS, listen, baby, please understand, this is no one's fault. But if people are out there trying to blame someone, the only person you can blame is TREVON DIGGS. And the reason I say that is because he's doing what he's supposed to do, play hard in practice. Okay. Let me finish. He's playing hard in practice, and he's pushing himself now. If he tripped, if he fell, it's not his fault. It's just dumb luck. If he's out there diving trying to make a play, there's no need to do that, in my opinion. We know what TREVON can do. I can't blame the coach for saying go and do the one-on-ones. I can't blame the turf because it's grass. I can't blame the receiver because they're trying hard too. So it just comes down to, look, the reason is dumb luck. It's bullshit luck. It's just unfortunate. It's bad luck. But, it just sucks that if someone wants to blame someone, there's really no one to blame. So that's why I said TREVON DIGGS is his fucking knee. I don't know what to say, but what were you going to say about that? Because that's my 2 cents. You can see your 2 cents.
Well, first of all, I agree in the sense that it is dumb luck. It's not like...
That's the main thing.
The universe is not conspiring against us or whatever, but if you're going to quote-unquote assign blame anywhere, I'm sorry, but McCarthy has had these guys coaching hard as hell for basically since like OTAs. Playing hard practices has been kind of a newer thing this past particular season, and I'm not saying that, it's not like they're out there beating each other up or anything, but you can clearly tell from the way the players are talking, from the way that the practices are going, and honestly, from just the number of overwhelming, even bang-up bruises during some of these practices, that, man, we're getting more hurt during our practices than we are during actual NFL games. Now, of course, shit happens, things happen, but I do agree that I think that there has been an emphasis on practicing the way that we play. So maybe not necessarily harder, but just, don't go out there and half-ass your reps. If you're going to go take your reps, full-ass them. And as a result of that, we have players. No, I don't think TREVON was like trying to go extra to go do anything, but he was probably doing it, the way that he might in a game. That's all.
Look, now let me counteract. Let me counter that with a comment here real quick, baby, because again, I said, listen, okay. There is no, you said your point. I believe with Mike McCarthy, he has, listen, in games, has he not stressed physicality in games? Correct? I mean, he's prided himself on being more physical since we lost to the Niners.
Yeah.
Okay. So physical players, physical team, harder. That's the way we play on Sundays. But I want to say something. The one person on this team, some people can bitch about Mike McCarthy's ultra-conservative, resting everyone for the games in preseason, and we go hard in practice, but he's been had to curtail that over the last 2 years. We didn't lose any practice this time because we didn't go extra hard. I'm not saying it's not on Mike McCarthy. This is not about hard practices and playing like. It could be the way you play in practice in the games, but Mike McCarthy is somebody who measures and tends to the health of our team, almost to a over caution. Right, we've talked about this in the past, how he overdoes it. The caution he has for our players holds them out a little longer. This is just no one's fault. Okay, it's not McCarthy in my mind. Not even close. Do you
remember that moment in training camp where we had to physically restrain Micah Parsons and 2-3 other players because they were going so hard during camp? No one's getting suspended. No one's missing practices and training camp stuff. It's not about that. But that type of
That's my point.
Energy and mentality, yes. Remember, even McCarthy said, he's I don't want to discourage that type of energy. I just want to make sure that we're managing it correctly. And again, maybe that's what I'm saying. Whatever the case, I'm sorry. I am not putting the overall vibe or mentality of the team on a singular player just because he absorbed the message of the team. Can I say something?
When you have someone like TREVON DIGGS, Micah Parsons, these are dogs. Dogs in a real way. In a real way. So, baby, you can't take the dog out of the player. Micah's gonna play like a crazy person out there.
And sometimes, okay,
let me finish. Micah's playing like a crazy guy out there. It's up to the coaches to rest him, I guess, or redo things. I don't think they play hard because that's the kind of players they are. The individual players. TREVON DIGGS is a dog. He out there, he plays hard in practice in the game, and that's the way he plays. That's why he plays so well in the game. But I'm not blaming anyone. But it's not. McCarthy's been extremely cautious about injuries throughout the offseason, the training camp, the season. We've seen this last year. He's very, very careful and wants to make sure no one gets.
Just because he's been ultra careful doesn't mean that he's not in a situation where, again, he makes mistakes. And I don't think, again, that there was a mistake made here. I'm just saying that the message he's putting out there, I think, just got absorbed a little too much by some of these players.
Yeah. Because, we'll disagree.
Or maybe the football gods really do hate us because it's not like TREVON is the first ACL injury we've had recently. We've had 4 guys get hurt with an ACL injury in the last 33 days. So basically in a little over a month, we lost 4 different fucking players. One of those being another guy we were super hyped to see, DeMarvion Overshown. He was the first one, unfortunately.
John Stevens.
Yeah, the John Stevens was another one. David Durden again. So the other 2 guys, okay, obviously not as big names, which is why we didn't feel that impact as hard. But of course, the 4th guy is TREVON DIGGS on this list. And the weirder part, the part that really makes you think maybe there are football gods are smiting us right now. All left knee ACL injuries. Yeah. So, by the way, this was the first confirmation. I believe it was Todd Archer I'm just saying we didn't know exactly which leg it was, but it is his left knee that was the one that went
I mean,
out.
again, like you said, baby, a terrible, again, this is what I'm saying, is it training? It's not the coaches, it's not the training. In my opinion, I'm blaming no one. It's just dumb football luck. It happens. Bad luck. I don't like to say luck, because luck is like usually good. No, this is fucking bad luck. But the Cowboys have had a lot of bad luck when it comes to ACL tears on that left knee since, like you said, 33 days, August 19th. Since the date of August 19th, we've had 4 ACL tears knocking our players out. 2 on the same day, Overshone and John Stevens Jr., the tight end. David Durden was not going to make the team, but he also was lost to the left knee, ACL tear. Now, of course, TREVON DIGGS. That's the depression part about that. So
I did want to touch on the 2 comments by Stephen Jones, just because I think it goes into a little bit of what you're going into next, as far as like, okay,
what's next?
So obviously, yes.
Well, we kind of went into that a little bit.
I know, but he did touch on it, and I think that it kind of expands on some of the things you said. So of course, as far as the actual injury itself on Diggs, Stephen Jones said it's unfortunate how these things can happen. He just took an awkward step trying to make a play on a ball. It torqued the wrong way and got his knee. It didn't look like much, but when those steps get awkward, unfortunately, sometimes the ligaments just don't hold up.
So you see, that was just dumb luck. It was just bad luck. It wasn't the practice. It wasn't TREVON going hard. It was him doing that one-on-one coverage, and he just stepped wrong, and there's the season.
Yeah, so very unfortunate. But like you said, we have done a very good job roster-wise filling out that depth there. And Stephen Jones, as far as what he feels like is the plan for replacing TREVON DIGGS right now, quote, "I do think we've got good men on this roster who can step up and play. Jordan Lewis is a good nickel corner. We'll kick Deron Bland outside like we did last year. I think Bland ended up with like 5 or 6 interceptions, so I think we're in a good spot."
Yeah, Talk Cowboys in the chat said earlier, he's only been, he didn't play he played a little more than half the year last year, and little time already out there playing fantastic. We still got Gilmore, so you figure him instead of Diggs last year. You still could get Deron Bland work, but he was working in the slot. Now he's working on the outside. He can do both, but he's still, again, I want to make sure Talk Cowboys understands this. It is still a downgrade. Now, it is still a downgrade, no matter how you slice it. No matter how the good turns you give, it is a downgrade. So
there's 2 quick comments I wanted to touch on super quick, just because they want your thoughts. So real quick, Frame Ripper said, "Don't fucking lie, MCF. Diggs ain't no dog. He cares about the money. Dog's always hungry, fed or not fed." Personally, I don't blame Diggs for feeling like he couldn't afford to play as hard until he got paid, because, yeah, you're right. I'm not risking myself until I have money in the bank.
Hey, listen, Voodoo, I'm sorry you disagree with people trying to, work and get money, but TREVON DIGGS is not about, it's not your fairy tale about, let's play for the team and win the Super Bowl, and then I'll get my money. Those are days of the 80s. You got to get out of that, my brand. You got to get out of that mindset. It's not like that anymore. You got to accept the new wave, or just not like football anymore. TREVON DIGGS got paid, whether you like it or not. This is a business. Jerry Jones look at it. He don't look at it as trying to win for you, Voodoo. Jerry Jones don't give a shit about you. Jerry Jones cares about you paying for that hat you bought, and so that is all Jerry Jones cares about. TREVON DIGGS got to protect himself like you would if you were there. I don't have a problem with TREVON DIGGS. You might. He's a dog. You know it. Stop bullshitting yourself. I know it. You know. We all know it. And the way he played this year after getting paid, the dog was at full bark right now, full bite.
52 wanted to know.
Let's hear it. I'm ready. Bring it on, family. Bring it on.
In the Jason Garrett era, would you still not blame the coaches for practicing the way they practice, or for the injuries?
Of course, it's not. How could I blame a coach unless we knew that they were like going extra hard? I don't know where you got the stuff that they were going extra hard. All I see from McCarthy is going extra soft. To me, McCarthy goes soft on practices and on making sure everyone's good to go. Spock, can you save me? Throwing that Tony Pollard holler.
Pollard, save our season. I'm kidding, but offense,
Spock, can you save me right there?
Thank you, Spock.
Moving up the board, by the way, we are still tallying this stuff, even through the good, bad, and ugly discussions we're having right now. And I expect that. In the family, we always have some disagreements. Let's keep bringing it on. Bring it, guys. I'm ready. I can handle myself very well, But I want to hear what Spock, can you save me, said first.
I'm 42 years old.
Yes.
Back in the day, we never had this level of ligament tears and injuries. These guys are bigger, faster, and stronger, but they're not doing enough flexibility exercises to keep up with their body mass to body torque. And it's funny? One of the biggest changes that's happened in the last few years, the Cowboys were one of the most banged up, horrible teams when it came to keeping players healthy.
Yep.
We had pretty much every play,
soft tissue stuff too,
especially soft tissue injuries. We changed our strength and conditioning staff, and I can't remember which one of those NFL things that show you training camp, or some kind of behind the scenes footage, and kind of focus a little bit on our new strength and conditioning coaches and stuff, and a big focus was a lot of like yoga and stretching and just like breath work and things
it's proven
like that.
good for this team.
And it's helped tremendously. So we have seen a vast improvement in the last few years, at least within our own organization. For some reason in particular, this year though, we are starting off with a bang because I'm just saying we have all these ACL injuries, but we've actually had quite a plethora of other soft tissue injuries that have kind of been, sneaking up and creeping up on us.
Can I say something though in this? I know the Cowboys have gotten better over years. Are we going to sit here and again, is this really? We got better on these soft ligament damages. Can we just all agree that maybe it's just nobody's fucking fault? Can we just say it's no one's fault and it's just bad luck? It fucking sucks. When you can't, I can say this in a much more philosophical, worldly kind of universe kind of view, but when you don't have answers for certain questions, of course it feels good to think you have an answer. You go here when you pass, I'm just saying, that's not the reality, but that's a good thought to make you feel better. You'll feel better if you can put the blame on something. We understand what's going on with TREVON DIGGS, and guys, I'm telling you what it is. It's bad fucking luck. It's bad luck. He didn't have a weak ligament. It wasn't a hard practice. It's football.
I know for myself, one of the reasons that I know I would probably, quote unquote, blame Garrett more than McCarthy, at least for my personal self, is because I do trust our coaching staff a lot more now to be able to handle a situation like this, in the sense of, our offense also stepping it up, right? Like everyone has to rise to meet this challenge on both sides of the ball. Under the Jason Garrett era, I'd be crying because holy crap, there's no way for us to be able to, rise to that kind of challenge. You know what I mean?
That's a great point.
That's the type of thing that would end up, starting the long, long descent into mediocrity once again. That's just
another 8-8 season. Look, actually, that's a great point, baby. Now, I would not blame. Here's the thing. I want to clarify. I would not blame Jason Garrett for the injury. I'd blame Jason Garrett for the lack of plan B, which he was like Kellen Moore. He's like, no plan B. It's like, we just go with this crew and hope for the best. McCarthy has plan B, C, D, and E, and F. He has every plan ready to roll. So that's a good point. I can't get mad at McCarthy because he's been ready for this if shit ever happens. He was ready on offense. He's ready on defense. And he's been handling good. I trust Mike McCarthy. When they won the Super Bowl, I know some of you guys, I know Voodoo hates McCarthy. When Mike McCarthy won the Super Bowl, he had 18 guys on IR. When McCarthy's Packers won the Super Bowl.
I think I saw a few people in the chat kind of mention saying that a vast majority of those guys were not as impactful, but those are still 18 bodies. Who
do we lose this year that's impactful outside of TREVON DIGGS? We don't know about DeMar and Overshown. The other two guys were backups or not even making the team, so come on, guys. I'm just saying, we don't know yet, but we have one big loss and a couple other, we wish we didn't have losses, right? But what I'm trying to say, it's not like we've been decimated. I know it's only week 2. We haven't been decimated throughout the whole year in either when it comes to big name guys being gone. This is the big one.
I do want to also throw out one last little point here before I kind of hand it back to you.
I want to try to get
just
positive.
I'm seeing, obviously, like, again, since we're talking about, okay, so what's the solution? What's our answer and stuff? I have a feeling, based off the guys we currently have, the Cowboys are probably just going to sit tight for another week or two, right? We have the Cardinals game. We have the Patriots game. That's just my opinion here.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see what we currently have before we start looking outside of that, but I'm positive that regardless of what we end up doing, we absolutely have coaching staff out there looking at additional corner depth and things like that, whether it's a trade for a bigger, help or something.
Well, let me talk about
options
that
are.
Because I don't think we're doing a damn thing. You know the Cowboys. We know the Cowboys. You guys out there we all know the Cowboys front office. Everything. They ain't gonna do anything to bring anyone in. Do we need to? I don't think we need to. And that's me saying this. So right now, like I said, the plan is Deron Bland on the outside. Jordan Lewis goes to the slot, and Noah Igbinoghene goes as our next guy up as a backup on the outside. I'm assuming also Israel Mukuamu is our backup slot cornerback. So that's where it looks there. Deron Bland again showed he can do it. We knew he's not. Again, guys, let me reiterate. He is not as good as TREVON DIGGS, but he showed he can hang in that outside spot and the slot. And again, even without DIGGS, even without TREVON DIGGS right now, we don't have an elite secondary, a number 1 secondary like we had. We're at number 2, number 3 secondary right now. And we still have a good secondary. With the pass rush, it's a great secondary. Keep that in mind, family. Jordan Lewis played 10 defensive snaps last week in his first game back since October of last year, that Lisfranc foot fracture. His workload was already expected to increase even before this TREVON DIGGS injury. Now he's got to start. Trevon Diggs out. Bland moves out to the outside. Jordan Lewis is now the starting slot cornerback, and that's what the Cowboys are going to do. They already announced this kind of from sources right after this injury. Now, of course, this injury is not as far from ideal, but we do have the McCarthy factor that planned for this, which is you're saying this, baby. Yeah. Gilmore in the house, right? So we're not totally decimated at cornerback.
No, I'm just saying it, and he also brings that kind of veteran leadership
Correct.
Too. So as far as like helping keep things stable, at least he can help on that side of things
right.
too.
So you got that. Then you got DaRon Bland, drafted him last year, a steal, right? Leading interception since 2022 is DaRon Bland, tied for that spot there with 6. So again, made it possible for the Cowboy defense to get through a major injury like this to Trevon Diggs. Because of the major injury to Trevon Diggs, with a Garrett team, season's over, guys. Season's fucking over. With this team, with Mike McCarthy, you got Gilmore, you got Bland. We made the right moves. Will McClay, I'm gonna give credit to Eric, even Jerry and Steven. They allowed Mike McCarthy and Will McClay to do their thing. And now look, we're sitting better than we would have been, way better if Garrett was in charge of this, shit pile of situations that unfortunately happens and you can't help it. So DaRon Bland. Again, I know that Voodoo's going to get offended, but he's also a dog. He plays hard. But again, he is no Trevon Diggs. Sorry to break that to Voodoo Alpha. But again, Bland showed he can play. The defense is still dangerous with the pass rush. They're resilient, prideful. We just talked about those secondaries, Jaron Curse, Jordan Lewis. They're saying they're going to carry this on. Saying it is one thing, playing it is another thing.
Yep.
Obviously, no matter what, it still hurts losing Trevon Diggs. He's a competitor. He's a dog. But again, it's a major loss, and we have some people that can still make up ground and help us out here as we continue this season. Will the Cowboys make any moves? Who's out there to make a move for? I don't see them doing anything, the Cowboys. But I'm going to be fair, right? Bland going outside, and you got Jordan Lewis playing the slot. You got Noah Igbehogany and Eric Scott and Israel Mukuamu as other options. Mukuamu is more of the backup to Jordan Lewis at slot. But if we got to go outside, it's Noah Igbehogany, and he is, question mark. But yet, maybe he's a little better in Miami than when he was in Miami. We got a better defense, and we have a better coordinator in Dan Quinn. So hopefully that's what the Cowboys are banking on. It sounds like to me, no Kelvin Joseph. This is the guy who's playing the Kelvin Joseph role. That's what it comes down to. And we do get Nashawn Wright back in a couple of weeks. I don't trust Nashawn Wright. Sorry, guy. I don't trust this Noah guy either. I trust Dan Quinn, though. Now, what are the other guys that you can pick up out there? Do you guys want any of these guys? Because I know my answer. My answer is no, but I'm already giving you my answer. I'm going to let you guys speak on this. Casey Hayward, which I used to like. He's too old now. Bradley Roby, Kyle Fuller still out there. All these guys are old and getting... What do you think they're still out there? William Jackson was a number 1 for Bengals and for the Washington Commanders, but he's still out there floating around. Byron Jones. Come on. He's basically retired. Greedy Williams, Jason Verrett. We don't... Listen, people see these names and think, we're going to get him and make him a starter. Shut the fuck up. DaRon Bland's a starter with Stephon Gilmore. The case closed. And Jordan Lewis was a starter last year until he got hurt.
Yeah.
He's a starter at slot. So we still got our starters on the field, just not as good of a starting crew.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because in a way, the only actual move I could see the Cowboys making is something comparable to the... Kelvin Joseph Noah move we made right before the season started. Yeah. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it's not like we really have anyone on the roster kind of ready to be traded off like that or something. So I'm just saying that even if we do something like grab a free agent, like you said, it's not like there's any super quality ones. And if we do a trade, we're going for a pretty low level.
Yeah, it's going to be a depth trade. So that's why I say if the Cowboys want to make any moves at all, any moves, I'm going to suggest one you guys might hate. But do not think of this pickup. Any of these pickups or trades, like you just said, baby, it's not going to be for a starter. Get your heads out the ground, guys. It's not going to be a starter. We're sticking with our guys. DaRon Bland and Jordan Lewis are good, I'd say even fantastic, great backups, if you want to call them that. Us and DaRon Bland as our starting, outside, as our backup outside corner, and Jordan Lewis as now, our backup slot guy. He's not going to start. That's a pretty good depth. That's what we were saying the whole offseason. Like, this is good. The 4 crew of these cornerbacks. When someone goes down for a short period of time of the whole year, like we just saw with Trevon Diggs, you got some good depth that can still hold it together and hold it together in a very good way. So I'll say one more name here, and don't get mad at me. But, Anthony Brown was picked up by the Steelers in their practice squad. Then he was picked up off of their practice squad, put on the 53 of the Niners. And today he was released. Literally a couple days after he was picked up. I don't know if that's because they wanted somebody. They wanted to add Anthony Brown, defensive. They wanted to add Trey Swilling, defensive back, from their practice squad to the 53-man roster. So they released Anthony Brown. They might pick him back up after he clears waivers. The question is, do the Cowboys want to make a move to acquire Anthony Brown, re-sign him, and put him on the practice squad? Re-sign him and put him on the, I don't think you put him on the 53, but you have that option. You know what I say about Anthony Brown with Dan Quinn and in this defensive scheme? He'd be a good sixth cornerback. Okay, we're not getting Anthony Brown to replace TREVON DIGGS. No one would ever dare say that. Deron Bland's much better. Jordan Lewis is great in the slot. But Anthony Brown knows the defense. He's a veteran. And he's a good sixth cornerback. Why not? Throw him up there behind Eric Scott as a practice squad guy. I don't have a problem with that if he passes physical. The word has been from the Steelers and the Niners that he's looked good as far as that injury from last year. So, hell, I have no problem getting Anthony Brown as a practice squad depth emergency piece. Please understand, I'm not suggesting we put him in a starter. So, outside of Anthony Brown on the practice squad, the Cowboys ain't making no moves.
Yeah, and honestly, I think one point, I want to shout out William Bernie's comment here, and then we do actually have to shout out someone else in the Cash App before we close it up. But William Bernie points out, we're not even going to be tested for another 3 weeks or so. So we won't really know how in trouble we are or not until that Niners game. Again,
but this is good practice for the next 2 weeks for these guys.
Excellent practice. Honestly, it's almost like a scrimmage that matters, at least this upcoming week. Honestly, something else that we didn't even get to mention. Remember, yesterday was Trayvon's birthday. Horrible way to start off your 25th year on this planet. And even worse, he was going to celebrate it today by watching the Queen, Beyonce. He had a whole private box. He had a whole fancy ass silver outfit planned. It was supposed to be a big birthday celebration thing, and especially on a day where he was going to be able to kind of kick back, relax, and enjoy it. Damn. Instead, he's obviously dealing with his injury.
He's going to have the surgery.
It's literally the shittiest thing you could possibly have happen, and the worst fucking timing possible you could have. So it just really, really sucks. Fingers crossed that, whatever kind of surgical enhancement or whatever was done to Michael Gallup to kind of get him back.
They have to wait about a month before they could do surgery so he can come back faster and sooner and better.
The reason I say that is just I'm hoping he'll be ready to start by week 1 of next year. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Well, because it happened so early, he should.
Fingers crossed, but again, that's what I'm saying. Whatever we can do to try to get him, worked back and stuff. But of course, there's always a concern that the year after coming back from an ACL, you're not quite the same. And I know Frame Rippers brought up earlier, he's like, we haven't had a player come back from an ACL injury the same since we've had players coming back from ACLs the last few years. So what kind of TREVON will we get? I mean, I think even 85% of TREVON is better than half the fucking league out there. So I just want to see TREVON back.
I agree,
healthy.
But I also want to say really quickly that the fact that this is not just, Michael Gallup got injured in January and was pushed back out there in end of September and October. This is completely different. We talk about 10, 11 months. 11 months. You don't have to hit the field until training camp, middle of training camp.
Yes.
He's good for next year if everything goes well.
Yeah. Real quick. Yes, it has been officially confirmed that TREVON has
he's out for the year.
Out for the year. But Jangly Echoes, thank you so much for that $5 holla saying, and motherfuckers think they can just pick on Bland, they're in for a rude awakening.
Agree.
We missed the opportunity for historic defense, but this is Bland's year. And again,
that's the only thing, that's the biggest takes the hit is that historic type of defensive chance we had. But we still have a great defense.
Yeah, the absolute only positive out of this is that we get to see a great player continue to grow and develop and continue on that path of greatness.
And, I got to give I want to make sure, I know people are getting mad at Mike McCarthy, but Mike McCarthy is the reason why we still have a chance. He planned for this, and he planned properly. On offensive line, on defense, we have enough depth in almost every spot to help us out when it comes to any kind of major injuries. We have the best depth we've had than any year with Jason Garrett, any year with these guys in the past, other than Parcells and Jimmy Johnson. So much respect to Mike McCarthy.
Cab 52's comment here with that $5 holler. Thank you so much, Cab. And we actually had a Cash App drop that I was just about to get to and didn't get the chance to. I want to shout out the man SnugX who did drop a $10 holler. Thank you so much, Snug.
Love, Snug.
Appreciate you. He's sending the love, the Cowboy love. He's saying go Cowboys. Appreciate you, Snug. And
yeah, he's our Cash App king, and he's currently in a tie for
Roger
first
that
place.
Asher
Yeah,
now.
but Roger that Asher
He's
on
trying
the
to go for
Cash App.
7. That Trevon Diggs 7. So, thank you, Cab52. Real quick before that, Trevon Diggs just posted on Twitter saying, thank you for all the prayers. I appreciate everyone checking on me. This is just God's plan. I will be back and better.
Again, guys, like I said, just bad luck. Just bad luck.
Horrible luck.
No one's fault. In fact, be happy we have McCarthy because he planned for depth on most of this team. Although I'll say the next thing we're going to talk about here, we don't have much depth on. But we'll talk about that in a second.
Well, the good thing we only have 5 minutes to talk about that. Cat52, much love. He said with his $5 holler, MCF brother, it amazes me how you always find excuses for Mikey the man can do no wrong.
Mike McCarthy?
But that's okay. I trust our team will face the adversity head on and overcome.
He's talking about Mike
Go
McCarthy?
Cowboys. Yes.
I do not look for excuses. He's just a better... I'm sorry you guys don't agree that he's a better coach than Jason Garrett. I'm sorry you guys hate him that much. But I'm not going to... I've been critical of McCarthy. I've said that we need to fire McCarthy last year or the year before that. I said a lot of this on him, but he's shown me that now he has... It's not excuses, it's facts. Check it if you don't believe it. Go back and listen to his interviews last year in that Bengals game. You know what happened? He took Kellen Moore and said, you're going to take a break, basically. Oh, let's take a lap around the field. That's a quote. And then you see the Cooper Rush game plan. Again, Cooper Rush couldn't even do it right, but it was not efficient, but we got the wins because of Mike McCarthy. So, yeah, I guess I got respect for McCarthy since last year.
McCarthy's a better head coach 100%. He's
right.
not denying that he's miles and leagues better, but that doesn't make him perfect, and that's all he's trying to say.
Far from perfect. Guys, Cab, you've been around. You know I've been very critical of McCarthy. I wanted his head on a plate. I wanted the Sean Payton, over his head last year to kind of push him to get the shit done. He got 12-5, got us in the divisional round. It's not only on McCarthy, it's only on Dak. It's a whole team thing. But when it comes to the offense, that's where McCarthy had his nuts chopped off by Jerry Jones because Kellen Moore was the guy calling plays. Now McCarthy has control. You give him credit when credit's due. I give it credit to McCarthy.
In the spirit of fairness.
I'm being honest.
In the spirit of fairness, it wouldn't be McCarthy and it wouldn't be Jason Garrett catching these hands right now. It normally would have been Jerry and Steven, but the clown show decided to stop, attending the clown circus.
Stop jerking around.
Over the offseason, and we have to give credit where credit's due. One of the reasons we haven't talked about the clown show as much heading into the season is because they made some serious moves in the offseason.
They could have done better.
They made some serious
but they
moves
did
in the draft.
Good. Compared to their past, they've done unbelievable. The clown show, the front office.
And you can visibly see the changes where we're actually pivoting away from the crap that we've been honking their noses at, right, the last handful of years. So if anyone should be catching these hands, it should have been the front office. As of now, even we can't swing a punch. Okay, so
as of now, all we can do is punch. All we can do is punch bad luck.
So
that's what we got to punch.
And of course, the last of the Garrett trash was also taken out, which I do think was a big albatross around McCarthy's neck. Was Kellen Moore. Right?
We know it. We all know it. If you're honest with yourself, you know it too.
So, and honestly, one thing, I have to say it. I am going to say it. I would like to see all of our Cowboy players maybe take it a little easier in practice. And especially, yes, Micah motherfucking Parsons. Because if there's one player that it doesn't matter if it's scheme, if it's McCarthy, if it's whoever, it doesn't matter what you tell Micah. He's going to practice like it's a Super Bowl. And we need him to practice like it's a practice. We can't afford to lose Micah on some dumb shit. Now, I'm going to bring it back to you, baby, just because time-wise, we do really have only about 5 minutes at most.
But we have a very important thing.
We do want to touch on what, honestly, we were kind of touching base a little bit in the chat, but this to me is the bigger concern. This is the one that scares me more than the TREVON injury.
First, Frame Ripper's in the membership. Why is that? Because of the great Jason Renfro.
Renfro said, hold up.
Gifting another membership. He's in a tie now. First, he's in a tie with Skeptical Fan. Always staying skeptical for the first place on that gifting board. We'll be back live tonight, so you guys can definitely, we have the whole week. But appreciate Jason Renfro making his mark. 29 points on the stream, boss. And much love. Hey, listen, we might argue. We might have disagreements on things. I disagree with you, disagree with me. That's fine. Cab, Voodoo, Frame Rippers. It's all good, but we're still a family. This is a Cowboys family.
So, East Side, of course, losing our top corner is going to affect our defense. But, again, we have such fantastic depth. We're not going to feel it as much as the current situation that's happening with the O-line, which you've already been feeling a little bit of. But it's not getting better as the weeks go on.
Well, I guess, again,
at least our corner situation still has that fantastic fucking D-line to help them out, too, which we've been saying throughout. So, no. Obviously, losing one of your top defensive guys is never a good thing.
Yeah.
Ever.
I barely even ever address Eastside Harold.
Well,
anyways.
Actual Cowboy fans were saying some other similar comments. Leaside just happened to be the latest one.
He's leading the charge.
I figured he just wanted our attention. So,
well, we gave it to him.
It's okay.
Let's talk about this guy real quick, guys, because this is another... Again, not even in the title. We'll talk about it tonight in detail. Oh, shit. And Fuego with his message, I think, right?
Yes, his month of membership. Shout out to you.
Navy blue style.
Although we lost Trey for the season, we got to trust in our coaches and one another. And yeah, guys, we are going to wrap up the stream by touching on the poll. So, baby, let me hand it back to you so you can touch on the
Okay, make sure you guys keep answering that poll question if you haven't yet. But I do want to say also when it comes to, the coaches, this is where the coaching is going to be coming in big as well when it comes to our center position. Center Tyler Biadasz was a limited participant today in practice. Why was he? Listen, TREVON DIGGS was limited today. Limited because he was practicing half the practice, then he got hurt. Same thing with Tyler Biadasz. He was practicing, he got hurt. What was the injury? Soft tissue. Hamstring. He has a hamstring injury, a hamstring issue that happened today in practice. Like TREVON DIGGS, he also was scheduled for an MRI after practice. Can you let me know if there's anything new on Biadasz in the news?
Yeah, that's actually what I'm checking.
Okay, perfect.
Now,
because he's getting the MRI as well. Again, and a little bit better on this as far as the injury seems like. I hope, knock on wood, as far as the injury prognosis. Because after practice, he had an MRI. Unlike DIGGS, Biadasz was talking with reporters inside the locker room. Remember,
I do have a Biadasz update. I'm sorry.
Okay, TREVON DIGGS was on crutches walking around while they were interviewing the players after the practice. Biadasz was talking, and he was much more involved. But baby, I don't know if I like your face.
No. It's actually great news. Straight from Bobby Bell. Biadasz hamstring injury sounds minor, thankfully. I don't believe this is even on the level of Tyler Smith's issue, guys. The bullet we just dodged in the last 5 minutes, possibly.
I know. I don't want to. I don't want to jump the gun until tonight. We'll talk about it when more information comes out, but it looks like it's a good... That's why I said he was talking with reporters. If he had any kind of issue that needed to be done immediately,
he wouldn't
be talking to reporters, guys. Facts on that. So, and again, my big scare is that he's going to miss this game and the next game, and he'll be back to the Niners.
He can maybe miss this game. But that's
what I'm trying to say. Like Tyler Smith, he had a level 1 hamstring injury. The guy still missed 2 weeks. We don't have a backup center on our 53-man roster. We know Brock Hoffman's on the practice squad, and he'll have to play center. Do we want that? Do we really need that? Are we ever going to get all 5 fucking offensive linemen on the field together? Because I've been dreaming about that for like 16 years. I don't know when it's happened last. So Tyler Biadasz, guys, limited person. Great update there, baby. Thank you for that. Doesn't seem serious. Still Bobby Belt. He's not Cowboys, right? He's not like working with the Cowboys. So we have to still wait for the actual things to come out. But again, with that backing it up, that's on the live stream here, a reaction we got on that update on Biadasz. But again, the fact that he was chatting with the reporters in the locker room Thursday after the media period where TREVON DIGGS got hurt is a great sign for Biadasz. And again, you added to some of that good feeling. Brock Hoffman, number 67, is on the practice squad. He's our only backup. We also have a former Giants center that is on our practice squad. Forgot his name, but he is currently, not the guy that's going to be taking over if Biadasz goes down with an injury. Remember, we keep putting elevating Brock Hoffman to the 53-man roster, or not for the game day roster. I'm sorry. And you can see here Sean Harlow. He's the other guy that could come in there. You see him next to Biadasz's right elbow. Sean Harlow is the other practice squad center, outside of Brock Hoffman, who is our next center on the list as of right now. So when it comes to any injury, you might see Biadasz has to go, miss this game or inactive. And then you'll see elevated Brock Hoffman. Brock Hoffman's going to be elevated no matter what. And he will have the worst case scenario, he'll be an inactive for Biadasz, and Brock Hoffman would take the starting reps. Unless that giant guy, unless what's his name again? Unless Sean Harlow, if he somehow just needed to get, tightened up and kind of freshened up on the Cowboy scheme with Soliari, that's the only way Sean Harlow is going to bypass Brock Hoffman right now. So we don't want either guy on that fucking field, except for we only go on this guy, number 63, Tyler Biadasz. So if for some reason Biadasz cannot play this weekend, Brock Hoffman is the expected starter. In this scenario, it'd be basically a second practice squad player that would have to be elevated. as Hoffman's backup. Undrafted rookie guard TJ Bass is developing at center, but he's not ready to go. So we'd have to bring up Hoffman. TJ Bass would have to be in the wings there. You got Austin Richards, a rookie. All these rookies right here, got a lot of fucking rookies. The Cowboys signed guard center Sean Harlow to the practice squad from the Giants. He spent training camp with them. How good is he, though, right? The Giants. So, again, guys, no, you talk about Trevon Diggs, there's depth at cornerback. That's workable, that you can still stay in there. You can win a Super Bowl still with. But on the offensive line, there's already issues with Tyron Smith. We know it's coming. Yeah, Terrence Steele coming back from the ACL thing, and now Biadasz hanging on by a thread. Yeah, I mean, only so much McCarthy can do. But that's what I'm saying. McCarthy got these guys in line. He's working with the guys from the front office to get the best we can get there at offensive line, and that's the hope here that Biadasz. That worries me about the backup center. Mm-hmm. It's always worried me, but now we got to really think about it. And even if Biadasz is ready to go, we still have to have a backup center ready to go. So expect that to happen. Like you said, baby, you have your source. I just have a source as well that talks about Tyler Biadasz hurting his hamstring in today's practice. I love that it's not even Tyler Smith's injury status. Tyler Smith's coming back this week. Yeah. That means a 2-week injury. That means that it's not even a 2-week injury for Biadasz. It looks like after the MRI. But the thing is, from a source from the Cowboys locker room, from the Cowboys front office, said, quote, Tyler will be okay, end quote. Now, let me just say to that shit, we heard that a lot. We always say, oh yeah, they'll be okay, and then they miss 3 weeks. So okay is still a very wide open term there. Tonight, we will talk more about Tyler Biadasz and this injury, as well as Trevon Diggs. There's only so much more we can talk about Trevon Diggs. We'll discuss it more with you guys. Just so you guys know the updates on the other injuries on this team. I know we were going to quickly go through that, I guess, just to make sure everyone knows what's going on. Zach Martin, all right? He had the ankle injury. He was working off to the side today during practice with the director of rehab, Britt Brown. And again, moving well on that rolled ankle that he suffered in that play where Pollard kind of fell on him at the end of the game. Again, we're looking good 3 days before the Arizona matchup. And again, as long as he can practice on Saturday, the word is Zach Martin is going to play. So we're not going to lose Zach Martin for this game. That's a good sign there. You got Tyler Smith. More and more guys, I think Tyler Smith's going to be playing this week. I'm pretty sure of it with that hamstring, making his season debut against the Cardinals as he gets integrated in practice today more and more. Great news there for him. Brandon Cooks with the knee. He worked both with the receivers and also with the rehab staff. But hey, he's moving closer. He's in the receivers, and now he's working with the receivers, which is great. He's also going to make his 1 week break there, missing last week. It looks like he's going to make his return on Sunday against Arizona. Great news across the board. And don't forget, there's also Donovan Wilson, who's still trending, no setbacks to play this week. Why do I say that? Because when you look at the injury report, baby, Brandon Cooks went from limited to full today. Donovan Wilson's been full all week so far. Chuma Edoga, I forgot about Chuma. Chuma Edoga, he went from limited to full practice today. So he's good to go in case we need backup status in the guard spot or even tackle spot. I talked about Brandon Cooks. Like I said, he went from limited to full today. Jaron Kearse, who again missed practice, did not practice today also because he was sick. So again, he'll be playing he'll be good for the game. Zach Martin went from did not practice to did not practice, but everything says if he practices Saturday, he's good to go. And Tyler Smith, I don't know if I talked about him yet on this list. Tyler Smith went from limited practice yesterday to full practice today. So, guys, Diggs, goddamn. Brandon Cooks, full practice. Chuma Edoga, full practice. Tyler Smith, full practice. Donovan Wilson, full practice. They're all going to play on Sunday. That's the good news there. And Zach Martin should play. He's already saying he's going to play. So that's 5 guys going to play. And then when you look at the limited guys, well, we got to still watch Tyler Biadasz, although it seems okay. And, of course, the other guy, well, we unfortunately, Jaron Kearse will be back, but we do know that Trevon Diggs is obviously fucking out for the season. So that's the way it looks there. Good news about Zach Martin, by the way. I do want to add one last thing about Zach Martin. I heard a source from the Cowboys says, quote, I think he will play when they inquired about him. And, again, they also said that if he practices Saturday, he will play. Zach Martin himself said he'll be playing. Sounds like Zach Martin's going to man up. Again, he's the kind of guy that's just going to take it easy this week and then go out there and destroy the Cardinals. So it looks good for him to play. Again, we got to see how the rest of the week, turns out. you don't know who else is going to be injured, right? You still got another day of hard practice tomorrow, and hopefully the Cowboys can get through that without any dumbass injuries.
You know what I do know?
I know it's time to get on out of here.
Yes, we will be live again later tonight, guys, although it probably will be a little bit shorter than our usual live stream since we went into so much depth into our thoughts and stuff on the TREVON situation.
If you guys want,
we'll probably just have a quick summary of it.
Of course.
Why don't you go ahead and close out the poll while I do some of the final shout-outs?
Perfect. I'll do that. I just want to make sure everyone knows also for tonight's live stream, we will talk about TREVON DIGGS, but we're not going to sit here for hours and hours. We're going to say, reference this video. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so like I said, it'll be
probably a lot more time to be out-ish as well.
Quicker, summarized point. I mean, part of this stream was to kind of get some of our thoughts out there and obviously vent some of our sadness.
We're all venting here. You can see me venting. I'm definitely not a happy guy.
and a little bit of the hope, right? Because again, it's a weird situation here because again, there's obviously a huge amount of sadness and horribleness, but obviously there is a part of me that is excited to see what Bland does. You know, like the only reason we even have a little bit of hope or excitement or anticipation for what's next is because of that depth, because of our coaches, because of our players. So
Dan Quinn, Mike McCarthy,
I fully acknowledge we're in a very privileged
Steven.
position to be able to say that, and I just want to see what they bring because guess what? Part of hopefully winning a Super Bowl is managing and dealing with these types of things.
Facts.
So wishing TREVON the best, looking forward to having him back, and looking forward to see what our team comes up with in his absence.
Yeah, baby, I know you're going to do the shout-outs. I'm going to close the poll out. I do want to give the shout-outs to those that dropped the love from above tonight. SnugX and Cab52 up in that Cash App Streamlabs side of things. Jason Renfro gifting a membership. Appreciate you. I got to update that board as well. It'll be update for tonight, Jason. Don't worry. Jangly Echoes dropping that 5 on it. And Spock, can you save me with the big baller drops tonight? Appreciate you. Appreciate everybody here supporting the channel, hitting the like, subscribing, and hitting the notification bell. Also, of course, voting in the polls, following us on Twitter on MyCowboysFamily, and of course subbing it up. And all that good stuff here. But again, rolling with us, good, bad, and ugly. That's what we do here. Unfortunately, today is not a good day of this stuff. So,
lots of ugly today.
Shout-outs time.
Shout out to Dirty South MVP, Raul, Frame Rippers, Cat52, William Burney. We have El Fuego 2.0, Carmen F, Stoned Immaculate, Stephen White, Raul. Let me see. I just want to make sure I give everybody their shout out to Justin D, Austin Taylor, Aztec Aguilar 04, Zam DFW. We have, let me see, Grimbot, Jangly Echoes, Darknet, Tokyo. Trying to go back. James Macias, Rolando Rodriguez. I think, that's everybody here as far as what I can tell. And of course, thank you very much to everybody who did drop the love during today's stream. Again, we will see you guys later tonight. Did a huge shout out as well to the people representing here on the board. Marco Seppian, Jason Renfro, SnugX, Ron the Don Smith.
And all the leaders in the house,
Sponsor of the week, Stream Boss, Cash App King, and Membership King.
Right now, we'll be back tonight. It's a tie for first place, Skeptical Fan and Jason Renfro for the gifting board. Right now, Roger That Asher and SnugX, another tie in the Cash App side. And almost a tie for first place between John Montgomery and Marco Seppian. So everything is close right now. Everyone's close on all these boards. Yeah. Appreciate everybody in the house spending this early evening, late afternoon, wherever you're at, about this unfortunate news.
It's always good to be a Cowboy fan when we're up. It always freaking sucks to be a Cowboy fan when we're down, but good, bad, or ugly, we do what we do here at MCF.
I want you to tell me, how did that poll go? That poll, right. We did that poll, and TREVON DIGGS, the injury situation. I know Frame Ripper's not very happy with the poll, but hey, you can vote, don't vote. It doesn't matter. We'll see.
So with 102 votes, how does losing TREVON DIGGS for the season affect the Cowboys' odds to win the Super Bowl? With 44% said, I have no fear. We have cornerback depth, and I trust Dan Quinn. Wow. So, Frame Rippers, that's literally the first option. Can't make it any better than that. So
Frame Rippers, that is the fear.
Instead of DQ, we should have put MP.
Micah, but hey, DQ makes the whole thing run. He's the one that's got to fix the secondary. Micah's going to do his job in the front. So.
That's why I was confused. I'm like, what other option is there?
Frame, anyway. Come on, we got it all covered.
But the point is, I have no fear. Quarterback depth, trust DQ, 44%. Now,
did you vote that? Did you vote for that?
I voted for the second option, which is I trust Quinn, but I'm still concerned just because, again,
what's the percentage though?
42% of us.
So it's 2% difference there.
Overwhelming majority of us are right there.
On one of those two things. I'm with you too. I voted for that too. I'm concerned, but I feel good with Dan Quinn there. I think, it'll be okay. We're not going to be that elite top defense historically, but we're going to be a damn good defense still because of Dan Quinn. So I feel good about what we have here.
Cowboy fandom said 9%.
Oh, 9, I'm sorry.
Of Cowboy fandom said, we're screwed now, the season's over.
Oh, well, that's defeatist.
And 3% said, we never even had a chance to win the Super Bowl.
Those are the East Side Harolds in the house, but yeah.
I felt like we had to add that in there.
Yeah, no, but my point is, you got 12% that are saying the season's over, or we never had a chance. But 88% no. Number one, that we had a chance, and it's no real. It's just a little speed bump, or let's see how the speed bump affects us. But we still are good. We still a top defense. So breaking news, not good. Obviously, horrible news. Out for the season for TREVON DIGGS, a torn ACL. But the positives are still, listen. This could have been a 10 times worse day if it wasn't for Mike McCarthy's planning. Dan Quinn's coaching, even the front office of Will McClay. And Will McClay leads that side of things, but even Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones. It wasn't for the right moves as far as the cornerback spot is. Some people are saying release Jordan Lewis this year and save $5 million. Well, that would have been really sucky, right? So good moves by McCarthy, good moves with the front office, good moves on Will McClay. Dan Quinn, obviously always making the needed adjustments. We shall see how this thing goes. Again, most teams in this situation, their season's over. We still very much, not just in the running, still one of the top teams, maybe even still the top team. We'll see what happens. But we got to watch that Tyler Biadasz situation because there is no backup there. And the backup, we don't want to see Brock Hoffman undrafted out there on that field. So time to turn the attention to that and the guys that are still on this team for this year that can produce. That's the way I feel. As we go to the next stream tonight, we're going to touch on TREVON DIGGS, but that's where we're going.
Yes.
And baby, before we can drop out tonight, let me know. Why do we do this here, even the good, bad, or ugly, here in My Cowboys Family?
It's that navy blue, that silver too, that star over everything, good, bad, or ugly.
Never forget. We're repping that star over everything, no matter what. And here in My Cowboys Family, 6 years and beyond, 7th season and beyond, baby. Never forget. Let them know. Let them know. Never forget the number one thing here, now, and forever. As always, go Cowboys over everything, guys. Get that 6 and beyond. And over everything, we got to get through these season road bumps. The best teams make it this way, right? They got to overcome this shit. Well, we are now one of those teams got to do that. Guys, thank you for repping it here, dropping the knowledge about this situation all afternoon long for this hour-plus stream. We'll be back again tonight for a shorter stream. Catch us on that one for the late night, breakdowns and updates, news info, and everything on our Cowboys. We kind of went through the major stuff today. There'll be a couple little things to touch on, and we'll rediscuss these topics, give you more information on Biadasz. But baby, before we can drop out of here for the night or for this afternoon and relock and reload later this evening for our next show, what do we got to do for the time being as we drop out of here for the night?
We got to drop the beat.
Beat's been dropped. Hopefully, no more guys on our team drop. Stay healthy, knocking on wood. Everyone knock on wood together. And we'll see what happens, guys, for our Cowboys as we got to overcome another huge road bump. Luckily, there was a plan B, C, and D involved there by even the organization, McCarthy, and beyond. But yeah, big news, the breaking news. Outside of Tyler Biadasz, that's the next thing. It's, of course, TREVON DIGGS. I can't even say it, man. Out for the season. Horrible, unfortunate breaking news. Another practice, another guy goes down. Just bad luck, unfortunately. No matter what, though, here on My Cowboys Family, here on MCF, we're always repping that navy blue, that silver too, and that star over everything. Never forget the number one thing right here in My Cowboys Family. Much love to everyone. We'll see you back later tonight for the late night update wrap-up. We'll talk some more news, info, and updates with you guys. Appreciate those hitting the like, subscribing to the channel. Almost at 28,000 subscribers. Notification bell so you know we're going live. But guys, have a safe rest of your evening, and we'll talk to you later tonight. Much love. Have a good rest of your day. Peace out. Good luck to TREVON DIGGS from here on out, and never forget, go Cowboys!
on the beat.